Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to the gRPC Global Meetup. Today I'm going to talk about a topic exploring the power of gRPC Gateway for writing RESTful services. I am Rajiv Singh. I'm working as a software engineer at Moller Maersk. I graduated last year in August 2022 from JSS ATE College, Bangalore, India. Agenda for today talk will be like we'll be discussing about REST and gRPC. Then we'll be moving to gRPC Gateway, like what problem is solved and architecture side of gRPC Gateway. Then I'm going to demonstrate a simple high-level program and how we can add gRPC Gateway in it. Knowledge we require before starting with this talk, like that will be more better if you know about little bit about gRPC, HTTP/JSON, that is REST, and protobuf. Okay, so I'm assuming you would be knowing a little bit about REST and gRPC. Some things I want to clear. Like we always have a like discussion, like which is faster and which is slower, and when to use REST and when to use gRPC, something like that. The one question I always have, like most of people have that, is gRPC faster than REST, or REST is faster than gRPC? So one misconception I want to clear, so gRPC doesn't have a default speed advantage over REST. So it doesn't have a speed advantage over REST, but it provides a feature that can help to enhance the speed. And how what features it's giving is like we have a selective message compression, we have load balancing, and many things, like selective message compression, like we can pass some flags, and so when we pass the messages, we can those messages can be compressed, that type of stuff are in gRPC. We have inbuilt support of load balancing in gRPC and all that. So these things enhance the speed of gRPC. But yeah, we all, right? gRPC is a high performance HTTP framework and all. But we all know also, like gRPC is not a tool for everything. So there are cases where we still want to provide a simple, traditional REST API. The reason can be from either maintaining a backward compatibility to supporting programming language, or a client not well supported by gRPC. But writing another service just to expose an HTTP/JSON API is quite a time-consuming and a tedious task. That's problem. That's the problem, and that problem solved by gRPC Gateway. So basically, like gRPC Gateway is a plugin of Google Protocol Buffer compiler called as Protoc. It reads a protocol service definition, and basically generates a reverse proxy server which translates REST API into gRPC. And this server is generated according to rules defined by Google API HTTP annotations and service definitions. So gRPC Gateway is a protocol buffer plugin that generates HTTP proxy code from protobuf definitions. This plugin basically facilitates the creation of HTTP gateway codes alongside of gRPC code from the same proto file. So when utilizing a gRPC client, a direct connection to server is established for sending gRPC requests and receiving binary response. So in a nutshell, so it's a plugin of protobuf compiler, generates proxy code from protobuf, translates HTTP JSON call to gRPC. Also like we have two available approaches for implementing the gateway's translation functionality. So we have like in process in process so we have a in process translation which is only for Unity gRPC service, and we also have like for streaming gRPC calls, we have like both no, so separate proxy servers that is for both unary and streaming gRPC service. So I mean, in process translation involves the gateway directly invoking the gRPC handler, and without the code. I mean, and I said you right. I mean, this is suitable for unary gRPC operation, not for streaming gRPC calls. And for streaming gRPC calls, the HTTP gateway must basically must operate as a separate proxy server. And in this setup, like HTTP JSON, what it does, like HTTP JSON requests are translated and relayed to gRPC server via network calls. So we have two types of like translations. And this is the gRPC gateway architecture, like how it does the things. So basically the reverse proxy generating the gRPC server service, and I mean even it does the vice versa too. Like, so this is a we have a proto file and how the stuff generation happen. So I have decoded this architecture in more simpler way. So if you go like this architecture, so we define our services in a proto file, and this is the rest. This is one client and this is another client. And so basically like HTTP, I said you right. I mean, basically this project aims is to provide HTTP JSON interface to the gRPC service, and we do some small configuration in the service to attach HTTP semantics. I mean, that's all we need to generate a reverse proxy with this library. So I mean, so HTTP client connects to HTTP gateway server to transmit HTTP JSON requests, and these requests subsequently translate into like a gRPC format before being directed to the gRPC service handler for processing, and the resulting response are converted back to into JSON format prior to being sent back to the client. So that's how it works. Like, so request and we have a gateway, and it goes to converted to gRPC service. gRPC, I mean, we get a binary response converted back to the JSON response and give it to client. And yeah, I mean, stub generation happen from this place. So we have and from the proto, obviously the proto file where we define all our services. I mean, all our protocol definitions. Okay, so I mean, we got an idea about about gRPC gateway, what problem it solves, and how it works on the architecture side. So, but I'm going to show a simple demonstration how we can add gRPC gateway in our code. So I already have a code, simple hello world gRPC server. It's not gRPC gateway, it's just a simple gRPC server which when we run it and when we do the gRPC call thing, it gives a message. It's a very simple thing. So I'm going to show that thing. So before that, like obviously, like how I coded that. So I defined hello world service in the proto file, and I created a main.go file where I'm going to write the client and the server logic, which I wrote already. And after that, like as of now, these things are done. And after that, I will main thing is like I'm going to show the how I'm going to add the gRPC gateway annotations to the ejecting proto file, the starting proto file, and how the stuff generation and all will happen. So so let me show that thing. So this is the code I wrote. So this is a simple gRPC service. So okay, so I define my services here. So we have a greeter service, hello world service, and it takes a request and a response. So this is a simple gRPC service I defined. And I also I'm using one tool called buff to so buff is a tool which does a stub generation and all. You can use protocol buffers also, like to do I mean proto compiler also to do stub generation. There is two ways. Those two ways are also written in the documentation's website of gRPC Gateway. You can follow anything. I'm using buff to do all the stuff like stub generation and all those stuff. So to learn about buff, you can go to the website and learn how we write that this gen the YAML file and all those. And so yeah, I mean the good thing about that buff thing is I mean you don't have to. So I said you about right HTTP rules annotations mapping and all, like we follow Google APIs, and so we don't have to download that folder here and do that stuff. So you can easily define the dependencies and all in this YAML file, and buff will handle those stuff. So yeah, I define my proto file for hello world, and now in a main.go file, I created my basically. So yeah, so now I have to generate the stubs. So basically to do that, I have one buff. We do buff generate. So basically I have a make file. So I will do my thing. So if I do make generate, these two things are generated: pb.go file and pb.go file. So these are automatic code generated from this proto service, and I'm going to use this function. I mean, going to use these functions in the main.go file to call those functions. So I have a method and interface. Accordingly, I created it, and I'm calling that greeter service hello request, which is in the generated code, to do my stuff like generating the messages and all. And this is the gRPC server function I wrote. So it's going to listen on 8080. So let me so that's it. I mean this is a simple gRPC service. So let me run it. So if you do go run main.go, so my gRPC server is started on 8080, and I'm going to do gRPC call name Rajiv, and this I'm going to hit this greeter services say hello. So if I do this, we are getting the message hello Rajiv, and I mean that's proof that this is working fine. If I do again, changing the text, I mean the input name test, so I'm getting hello test. So this is working fine, superb. So now okay, so this is a simple gRPC service, and that's work fine. So now how I can add the gRPC gateway in it, like how I can get the RESTful services from this. So nothing you have to do, the little bit of configuration you have to change. So first thing I have to change, like if you would have seen in a PPT, I have to update my proto file. So first let me clean the stubs which are generated. Okay, so they are clean. So now in the proto file, we have to add some rule. I mean, basically you have to update some code, which that code is going to say this service. Basically, it going to help in mapping it, annotations and all. So where I have to update it, like I have to add here. So I have to do like so option, and basically I have to do Google. Dot I think yeah post v1 hello world. Okay, so it was a hello world. So and this will be body. So I mean, so I'm so this Google API HTTP, like basically this is HTTP map HTTP annotation mapping I'm doing. So I mean this is the thing I have to do, that's it. Like so, and also like yeah we have to import anything. No, I already done. I guess this works fine. Yeah, I think this works fine. Body is like okay, so I updated my proto file. Now I have to update this okay buff also. Like I want to generate not gRPC stubs but also the gRPC gateway stubs. So for that, like I have to add on one more here basically. So let me gRPC gateway proto. So I'm going to generate a gRPC gateway stubs too, and in buff YAML I think that is fine. So yeah, I mean, so now this proto service is going to generate gRPC stubs and gRPC gateway stubs too. I mean the rest stubs. So let me generate the stubs. Make generate. Yeah, so you can see the stubs are generated. So pb.gw gateway stubs are, I think these are the gateway stuff. It translates gRPC into RESTful JSON APIs. Nice. And this is the gRPC what we already saw in earlier. So now the stubs generation is working fine. I mean everything is perfect. Now see, so I have to update the client and those server code too, right? I have to write a new so I have a run gRPC function, like a server function. So I have to write for the REST also. So I'm going to write for REST. So what I'm going to do is like copy this, set up the REST server on the port 8080. So you see that is an 8080, so I will run this on 8081. Okay, maybe 8081, and handle requests by proxying them to gRPC server, and this will be the gRPC REST. So okay. So we'll be having a context and the marks new serve. Okay, and now I got it, these two things, and now I have to basically connection dial, like the connection thing I have to do. So that will be dial context 8080 and width. So I'm not going to use the insecure thing, so that will be, so to dial that to gRPC and handle that error too, obviously. Okay, so and if create a service handler context mode return error, or I have to handle this too. And now I'm going to like just print something when we start, when the server start. We'll start with starting gRPC gateway server on 8081, something like this. If something happen, like 8081 marks return an error. Okay. Okay, so I coded my function for run REST server, and so basically earlier in main function we are calling the run gRPC server. Now we'll call the run REST server too, but I cannot code directly like run REST server, because if I run both the things together, there might be collision, and all happen, like so I have to handle this very efficiently. And how we can do it, like using Go routines. So we are I'm just adding a concurrency stuff here to run both the servers and doesn't make any collision and all those stuff. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use a Go routines. So go func, and so if error run this. Okay, so let's log it to fatal thing. Okay, fail to run REST server, and I'm going to add, yeah, fine. And then this is like, okay, and yeah, so I added a Go routine here, and that is, this will be a same. Yeah, so I generated this, basically I coded this thing. So we have, we got a stuffs, gRPC gateway and gRPC stuffs, and I wrote the logic for a client and server here, and we have a two function for running the gRPC server and the REST server, and I'm doing a go routine using the help of go routine. I'm running these two servers. So let's try now running these two things. So let's make generate. We already did, but let's try again. Okay, so go run main.go. So it's going to run both the servers. 8080 at 8080 port, the gRPC server will be running, and 8081 port, REST server will be running. Okay. Okay. Binary is already in use. Wait a minute. Okay. So let me try again. Okay, so we can see gRPC server is running on 8080 port and 8081 port. We are running this gRPC gateway server. So so first let's try the gRPC code, gRPC server code. So using gRPC call, we are giving the call request. So okay, we are getting response, hello Rajiv, and now we are going to give the REST, basically call request for the REST server. So okay, if we are getting the right response, means our gRPC gateway server is working fine. So call, okay, name, okay, we are getting the response. Let's try to change the request, something like test. Okay, so this is working fine. So we are running gRPC and REST servers together using by just writing a gRPC service, and we are getting a help of gRPC gateway, which translates gRPC service to REST and REST to gRPC. So yeah, this is working fine, and that's the way to write a gRPC. To write a simple server, and we can get both the benefits like gRPC service and REST service. And REST service we are getting because we are getting help of gRPC gateway. So it's very easy to configure and add gRPC gateway. So so yeah, we saw the demonstration, and hopefully you would understand how these things work. So all the references you can go through. I will share these slides, and so this is the documentation website. This is the gRPC gateway repository where the code resides, the main code, and the demonstration I showed, I've already pushed this thing to a repository. This is the link. You can go through it. Even I have other gRPC gateway based examples projects. You can go through my GitHub account and understand how it works. Because I have a repository about telemetry support too, because gRPC gateway has a telemetry support and all those stuff. So if you go to the website, you can see what other things gRPC gateway supports, like the telemetry and all those stuff, customizing the gRPC gateway. You can go through that and accordingly you can play with it. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to me, and you can go through these links to find about me and follow my work. And yeah, thank you so much.